Hello and welcome to the BBQ Walk of Flame. On my Weber Q today, I'm cooking a dish with that unmistakable Moroccan flavour. Saffron, honey and preserved lemons are just a few of the ingredients in this uniquely flavoured Eastern dish. What I really like about it is that much of the preparation and cooking can be done the day before. Great for a barbecue when you don't want your guests hanging around without food. And now it's over to the kitchen. Well, there's a bit of prep work to do, so let's get cracking.
First, I have 400 ml of fish stock, which I've made from a stock cube. Bring to the boil and add a good pinch of saffron. Stir and set aside for the saffron to add colour and flavour. Now, finely chop a medium-sized onion. I'm grating 3 cloves of garlic in my great little garlic grater. Just look at that mush. Followed by a red chilli, halved, de-seeded, and now it's being chopped. This was a piece of ginger, about 1.5 centimetres peeled. And now I'm grating it. There's about 600 grams of tomatoes here, which need to be peeled and chopped. Here's how I peel tomatoes. Cut a small cross in the top of each one. When you've done that, place them all in a bowl and then pour over boiling water to just cover them. After a minute or two, lift out carefully and the skin comes off just like that. Simple. Just roughly chop those tomatoes and reserve them in a bowl. I've just snipped some fresh coriander from my herb garden. The stalks and leaves are chopped using my mezzaluna. Take 2 preserved lemons. Halve them. Scoop out the flesh and discard it. Now, finely chop the rind. For the fish marinade, to a bowl add 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 1 clove of grated garlic, plus a handful of chopped coriander leaves, and finally the juice of half a lemon. I have a nice piece of cod which I'm cutting into fairly large chunks, and some king prawns which I've slit around the prawn and removed that black vein which runs down the back. Add the fish to the marinade and make sure it's all well coated. Cover with cling film and refrigerate for about half an hour. Out at the barbecue, it's time to get cooking. I'm using my paella pan with a generous glug of olive oil. Once the pan is nice and hot, add the chopped onion and fry until soft and golden. Then add the chilli, garlic and ginger, followed by the dry ingredients, which are 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, to which I've added half a cinnamon stick, broken up. Give it all a good stir around until you smell the fragrance of the spices. Now add the chopped tomatoes and all of those lovely juices. Give it all a good stir round The smell coming off this pan is incredible. Continue to cook until the tomatoes are broken down into a thick puree. I'm adding a couple of tablespoons of clear honey. You could add more or less depending on your taste. In go 40 grams of sultanas, followed by the coriander and the saffron infused fish stock. Season well with a good grind of salt and pepper. Stir in 1 tablespoon of tomato puree, followed by 2 tablespoons of ground almonds.
Well, that's the base made. Up to this point, it can be made a day in advance and stored in the fridge. I'm now going to finish the dish by cooking the fish in my tagine. If you don't have one, just add the fish and the marinade to the pan.
With it off the grill, I'm transferring the sauce to my tagine. I'm using a heat shield and grid on my Weber Q, as I don't want intense heat directly on the earthenware pot. Place back on the grill and bring the sauce up to a simmer. While I'm waiting for the sauce, I'm going to make some couscous to go with my fish tagine. In the bowl, 240 grams of couscous and a good knob of butter. Pour over boiling water until just covered, and then cover the bowl with cling film and leave for 20 minutes. With the sauce up to a simmer, it's time to add the fish together with the marinade. Give it all a good stir to ensure that it's well coated. Put the lid on the tagine and return it to the grill. Cook until the fish is opaque and it flakes easily. Should take about 10 to 15 minutes. Well, it's almost ready. Remove the film from the couscous. Add the zest of a lemon, a grind of salt and pepper, and fluff it up with a fork. I've made a bit of a mess here. A plate on the top will help keep it warm. I almost forgot to add the preserved lemons, which are an important part of that Moroccan flavour. Yes, it's cooking nicely. I think it needs a few minutes more. That looks done to me. A few lemon wedges adds a finishing touch. And there is one delicious fish tagine.
If there's anything you'd like to know about the Weber Q or this recipe, all you have to do is click that button, activate and ding the bell, and leave your question in the comments box below, and I'll get back to you. That's a promise. Now, here's the recipe recap. If you've enjoyed this video, then give us a thumbs up. This recipe can be cooked in the kitchen as well as on the barbecue. So have a go at it yourself and enjoy the taste of Morocco. Well, that's all for this time. Join me next time and see what's cooking on my Weber Q. So from me, the dude of the food, the old geezer at the grill, it's goodbye and thanks for watching.